We're going to start now. Welcome, body odor sufferers. We got a new person on. This is the first lady, and this is the second person who just decided to show their face. We have Brittany. How are you doing, Brittany?
I'm good. How are you?
I am doing fine. So tell me, how old are you?
I am 23. I just turned 23 in February.
You turned 23 in February. When was your birthday?
It was on the 9th. Yep. So,
Oh, so it's like 4 days away from mine. That's cool. Okay, cool.
where
All right. And where are you at this moment?
like as in my location.
Yeah, your city,
Yeah,
state,
I live in Atlanta. So, yeah, that's
Atlanta, Georgia.
hmm
And when was the first time you experienced this weird condition that you acknowledge?
well, this was about 8 months ago when I started to have like a lot of the problems. Is when I first started to notice it. Um, I, um, sorry, lost my train of
It's okay.
thought. Yeah, it started about 8 months ago. So I definitely I haven't been suffering for that long, but yeah, it's
Well,
still
can you tell me like your first experience? Like, when was the first time you started to feel like, do I smell bad, or what? Can you tell me like the time, the place, the setting? At least give me the audience a little bit like a experience or a story of what actually happened.
so I was working in a restaurant. I used to be a server, and um I started to notice that my tables would actually like they started to, do all like this and like that, like when I would be talking to them, they would kind of like scoot away and stuff. And
Really?
it just caught my eye, and I was like, why are they doing that? Like, because I had never seen or noticed people doing that before. So I was like, I don't know, I thought about it, and then I kind of like, I forgot about it because I was like, whatever, like, I mean, I guess they're just weird. So it started to happen like a little more and like more and more, to the point where it was like, what's going on? Like, I can't like, I don't know, because I felt like I couldn't smell myself, so I was like, I can't smell bad.
So when you saw people like holding their nose like they were doing this.
Yeah, I actually had the first table, I remember it was a lady and her husband, and she like was pointing at something on the menu, and obviously like I got closer to her to see what she was pointing at. And as soon as I like got down to her level, she was like this.
Mm,
And I was like, "Oh my god, like what's the like why is she doing that?" Like I
yeah,
cuz it was a restaurant. It was an Italian restaurant. So it's not like anything smelled like dreadful. Like I didn't smell
yeah.
anything.
Except like
So,
garlic bread or something.
yeah, so it was weird. And um I was like, what's going on? And then I had another table like maybe a couple days later. It was two ladies, and the whole time um, I was serving them, they were literally like, it was so dramatic. This is the most dramatic I've ever seen a person be before. She was literally like holding her entire
Wow.
face, and I was like, oh my god, like, and
So,
it was a
oh,
slower restaurant, so I was the only person serving there, and I was like,
and this
it,
is the same Italian restaurant.
yeah, it's the same Italian restaurant. And I had never experienced like anybody tell me like I had any type of body odor issues. I never like really was like a sweater when I was in high school and middle school and stuff like that. I never had problems with that. And it was so odd to me that people were like acting like really strange. And I had never had anybody tell me like, "Oh, your breath stinks," like nothing like that. So,
So when you saw that person hold her nose like that, did you just
mhm.
think, "Oh, my breath stinks, so let me get like
Yeah,
let me pop
yeah,
some
that's what I
gum"?
thought. So, also around the same time, I have a nephew. He's 5 years old, and I went over to their house, and I was just like, gave him a hug. I was like playing with him and stuff, and he was like, "What's that smell?" And I was like, "What
Mm,
smell?" And he was like, "It smells. It stinks." And he was like, "It smells like poop." And I was like,
wow,
"I think it's your breath." And I was
wow.
like, "Oh my god!" But like, okay, so the night before, I used to be a big like partier. I used to go out and I used to go to clubs, and I used to smoke. I used to drink, and
Mm.
like
Did you smoke like cigarettes or did you smoke like weed?
I smoked cigarettes. I never have smoked weed before. Well, I
Mm.
have, but I've never been like, a constant smoker or anything like that. But um Yeah,
Do you
and
still
like
smoke? Because I know that's hard to like kick.
no, I stopped smoking. Like a couple months ago, I stopped smoking. But he told me, yeah, he told me that my breath smelled like poop, and like it was early in the morning because I think I just ran over to like grab something or something. So I didn't brush my teeth. I just kind of got out of bed and went. And I
Right.
was okay, maybe it's because I didn't brush my teeth. So I went home, brushed my teeth, did my thing, took a shower, and like I thought everything was fine. And like it never went away. I don't
Mm.
know.
But you could have smelled it. Like, you could smell
No,
like the odor, the bad breath, or you couldn't.
no, I couldn't. I've never been able to smell my breath ever. Like, 'cause I didn't even know what he's talking about because I didn't smell anything.
Mm.
Hmm.
Okay, so then you're like, once that happened, you're like, oh man, this must be an issue. So did you like possibly, I don't know, like what was the next step? Did you possibly try to get some supplements or get some type of new toothpaste or, floss, or what was your thoughts at that moment?
So at first, I thought it was just my breath. So I started like, I became like actually like insane obsessed about like my breath smelling good. So I used like every product under the sun. I was using like, at first I tried TheraBreath, and I was using that, and then I would use not peroxide. Is that what it is? Peroxide?
Hydrogen peroxide?
Yeah, I would use peroxide, baking soda. I use all types of flosses, and I just used everything. I was like, I bought a tongue scraper. Like I did everything I possibly could to make sure my breath always smelled good.
Let
Um,
me, let me ask you this. Did you have like white coated tongue? Once you have you acknowledged that you had that, like when you start looking at your tongue, did you feel like it was different or was it just like a regular color?
no, I actually researched that, and I had never noticed any. Like I had never like known anything about having like a white coated tongue, if, what that meant. So I researched it, and I was like, oh, like a white tongue means like possibly candida or whatever. So I would and I did have a white coated tongue. So I like would make sure I was like scrubbing, and then I cut out a lot of sugar. So I was trying to like cut down on the whatever was in my mouth, and it helped a little bit, but I still couldn't smell anything coming from me, but I was still getting people like reacting to my breath, and I was like, how is this possible? Like I'm brushing my teeth, I'm doing
Right.
everything I can, and like I don't understand, you know. So
And you were still working at the Italian place when you were like doing the scrubbing, the different regimens for your breath.
yeah, I was still working at the Italian place, but yeah, like a month after that started happening, after all of that started happening, um it actually closed down, and I didn't have a job for like a month. And
Mm.
for a while it was just me, like I got, because I was so what's it, like I had so much free time because I didn't have a job. I started researching like body odor problems, because right after I lost my job, um there was like this one incident where I knew for sure like there was something, it was something more than just my breath, because like I don't know. It was just so odd to me because I went into a grocery store, and I was with my sister, and we were just, checking out whatever. And I walked past this group of kids, and it was just me because like my sister was doing whatever, something. And it was just me walking past this, like I think it was 3 or 4 kids. And as I was walking past them, they were like, "Ew, what's that smell? It stinks." And they were like holding like their shirts like
Wow.
this. And then they were looking at me, and I was like,
That
I didn't
must have
see
been
any.
really embarrassing.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God, like, what are they looking at? I don't like, cause I didn't smell anything. I was like, I
Yeah.
was like, it scared me almost because I was like, what, like,
What
what's
the hell
going
is
on?
going on?
Yeah. And they were like, yeah, it smells so bad. And they were just like cause you know how kids are. They're like dramatic.
Yeah. Yeah. Like kids are very honest about their feelings at the moment. So
Yeah. So they were just like, um, yeah. And the entire time I was doing like the self checkout, they were looking at me, and they were like,
the kids?
they were like, she stinks, it stinks. And they were just like
Wow.
being really dramatic. And I was like, yo, that's crazy. Like, I didn't know what to say. And
Yeah.
I told my sister, I was like, did you see those kids? And she was like, no, I didn't see them. I was like, I think they thought I smelled bad. And she was like, no, they didn't. And I was like, they did.
Wow.
Like, they
So they were
literally said
so
that.
vocal, but at the same time, your sister didn't see that?
Yeah. And I was like, you didn't see those kids holding their nose? And she was like, no, I didn't see it. And I was like,
Hmm.
whatever. So
Well, let me ask you this. Okay. When you were at the Italian restaurant, did you ask like your coworkers, hey, does my breath smell or anything?
yeah, so afterwards, because I was afraid to ask them at first. So once the restaurant closed down, that's when I would message them on like Instagram and stuff and text them, and I'll be like, hey, like when we were working together, did you ever smell anything or whatever? And they were like, no, we've never smelled anything from you, like whatever. And I know a lot of people, it's crazy because I've never had people like really dislike me at any of the jobs that I've ever been to,
Yeah.
but for whatever reason, when I got to this restaurant, nobody liked me. Like it was
The
really,
Italian restaurant?
yeah, it was really odd because nobody liked me, and they were like, it wasn't like a dislike where, oh, like you just, I don't know, like they would like
They
bully.
just were distant to you?
No, they would literally take my phone and be like type random stuff. They would like send messages. They were like bullying me. Like I don't know. It was so weird because
Like, can you
nobody
give me like, can you give me an example? Is it like they were just saying mean things behind your back or something like that?
they would tell people like, oh, I don't like Brittany, but they would never give like a reason. They were just like, we don't
Mm,
like her. Like we don't like
mm.
her. And it was so weird because I was so nice to them. Like I didn't think there was a problem, and like for whatever reason they just, and now that I look back on it, it was probably because like, I didn't smell good. And they probably
Or it
thought I
could
was
be
crazy.
jealousy. It could be jealousy. You know, a lot of times when people don't like you for no reason, usually it's like some person that they like you or something like that. I
Yeah, that's
noticed that when I was like in school, it was always like some woman that liked me or something, and that
yeah.
made them mad. So they were like, "Oh, fuck that guy." I
Yeah.
don't know. Maybe that's the
It
same
was like guys
situation.
and girls, and I was just like, it was, I don't know, it was just like nobody liked me, and I was like, I mean, a couple of people did. That's the people who I messaged about, but both of them, it was only two people. Both of them said no. So I was like, okay, so I like that validated, it to myself at the moment. I was like, okay, maybe I'm just like losing my mind. Maybe I am crazy. So I just like kind of let it go for a little bit, and then after that incident with the kids, that's when I was like, yo, I there's no way this is just like in my head because I know
Yeah,
what I saw. Like I'm not crazy.
right.
Yeah.
I got a question from somebody from the chat. I think her name is Ronnie Lynn Moo, and she asked, "How did you feel in school? Did your professors or teachers notice?"
Okay, no, because this all started um like I took a break in college for a little bit. So
Hmm.
like when I moved here, I wasn't in school. So before all this happened, I wasn't in school yet, and I just started taking online classes like for the fall semester. So it was just, I don't know. I was taking online classes, but I never had any professors tell me like I've never experienced any type of body odor issues up until this point. Like I started when I was 22 and I'm 23 right now. So
Let me ask you, when did you move to Atlanta?
I moved like April 2016. Yeah.
Mm. So you're 23 right now. So
Yeah.
you moved when you were 20.
Yeah, like 2021. And yeah, and that whole time I was just like partying. Like I just like had a really like wild lifestyle, which is,
Yeah.
I think that's like one of the like top contributing factors to this is the
Hmm.
fact that I had such like a wild lifestyle, and I was just like doing whatever I wanted to do. I wasn't eating healthy. I wasn't um like I was taking care of my body as in like taking showers and stuff, but I would like drink and like on an empty stomach and like
Wow.
smoke every day. Like it was just like I was just, whatever.
Yeah, a lot of people, when I interview or talk to a lot of people, they said, yeah, before they had this, they were drinking and smoking and stuff. But like that's what the average person does. So I
Yeah,
don't
and
know.
that's what's so crazy to me because I'm like, okay, everybody else that I was like doing this with was doing the same thing as I was, and they don't smell bad. So like, I mean, I don't know. That's what blows my mind because I don't know if I just like my body was just too sensitive to it, or I did something that just like kind of triggered it, or it was just like I feel like it was a lot of stuff at once that kind of
Do you
triggered
think there's what other contributing factors do you
it.
think helped? I mean, helped worsened your odor.
I got really, really sick before this happened. Like
Mm.
I don't know what it was. I got the flu. Okay, I'm gonna list a bunch because I think there's like 5 or 6 things that contributed to this. I um I got really sick before this started happening, like maybe like 3 or 4 months, and I my tonsils got really swollen and they haven't gone back down. And I
Mm.
feel like that's, I don't know, I feel like I had a really bad infection, and I know infections can start it. And
Okay.
when I was living in Virginia, I had an apartment, and there was some really bad like black mold in there, and I didn't know, and it was making me really sick. And before I left Virginia, I got this, like, I came down with this, I don't know what it was. It was like
When you say
bronchitis.
sick, do you feel like you mean like a cold or something, or do you mean like I don't know, you have like allergies or something?
No, like actual like flu, like cold, like I couldn't get out of bed type of flu.
Yeah,
And
because I've heard stories about mold. I heard people talk about mold and how it might contribute to it. I never really looked into it like that, but
mhm.
you know, you're not the first person who says that. I don't know if there's like information about how mold can make you sick. Is there? Have you like researched something like that?
I've only researched it a little bit, but mold can make you really sick. I mean, I was really sick, and I didn't understand why I was so sick. Like the entire time I was staying in that apartment for like a year, I was always sick. Like I had like maybe like a week or two in between having like a cold. And
Mm.
right before I left, I got this really bad like bronchitis. I don't know what it was. I lost my voice. I had to go to the hospital. It was really
You lost what? I couldn't
bad.
hear you.
I'm sorry.
I couldn't hear you. Your audio didn't pick up when you said you lost something. What did you say?
Oh, I lost my voice. I'm sorry. I
Oh,
think I
your
was covering
voice.
the mic. Yeah, I lost my voice. So, like I had to go to the hospital, and it was just really bad. And like, I mean, I recovered and everything, but I feel like that was like the mold and that really bad cold that I got. That was like something that contributed to it as well.
Hmm. That's interesting. So yeah, because I've heard people also talk about like tonsils and stuff. I remember talking to this one woman who had like some bad breath or something like that, and she
Hmm.
told me that she talked to some guy who or read something on a post about how some guy had bad breath, and they removed his tonsils because he thought that was the contributing
Yeah,
factor. But in reality, it was something called the adenoids that's under the back somewhere in the throat. And once they removed that, there was like some weird like residue inside of it, and that it was a contributing factor to his bad breath. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't really. Maybe I do have bad breath, but I don't know. Um, But going back to you,
sorry.
you did say that you had like you went to college and stuff. Um, but you didn't want to go out into college. You just did online classes. Can
Yeah, that's when all of this started to happen, and I was going to take classes in school, but I was like, if this is a problem, like I'm not even going to risk it. So I decided to take all, because I still have the option to take classes online for the most part. But yeah, I'm getting to the point in my degree where I can't take online classes anymore. Like this is my last semester being able to take um like any online classes, so I'm gonna have to start going to the school, like just to finish my degree, and I don't want to. I'm really
right?
looking forward to it.
Yeah, but you did say that you were doing certain things that you felt like made it less offensive. You said you start to eat one meal a day, and you're starting to drink like celery juice or something. Can you
Yeah,
talk about like
for a while I was doing a lot of like I did so much stuff within like a short period of time, because I thought it was something that I could just like fix, like it was a quick fix, like it
right?
was like, oh, like I stink a little bit, but like I can just do this thing. Like I thought taking like the kelp and zinc, I was like, okay, this is the cure all, I'm done, like it's gonna
Mm,
work. And it didn't work, and I was like, oh my god, like this is gonna take more than this, like it's gonna take a lot of work. So I was doing a lot of stuff and nothing was working, and I was spending like a lot of money on supplements and stuff like that, and
yeah,
it just got so draining, and like mentally draining, as well as like draining like my wallet. So I kind of just stopped everything for a little bit, and I just went back to just doing whatever I wanted to do. And like like drinking, I was smoking, and I was just doing whatever I wanted to do. And I mean, it didn't make the smell worse, but it didn't get any better. So it
Yeah.
was just like it stayed the same. So
Oh, so diet didn't really play a role. Didn't it worsen it or didn't improve it?
yeah, I mean, it's I feel like I only smell up to a certain point. Like I have like a maximum that I stay at. Like if
A
I'm
maximum smell
yeah,
level?
like I have a maximum that is like because I know dairy is really bad because I'm also lactose intolerant, which I did develop um recently. Like I noticed before I had the smell, um I noticed like lactose intolerant symptoms, and then I started to get the smell, and I don't know, that might be a factor too, but
So you think dairy plays a role as well?
yeah, a big role. Like especially for me because okay, this weird story. I was working at a Dunkin' Donuts, and there was a sink that I would always walk past, and I would it would always smell really weird, and I would be like, what's like, why does this sink smell so weird? And I would clean it. I would be like scrubbing this sink because I wanted to like it smelled bad, and I was like,
Yeah.
does nobody else smell this? It smells weird. So I would like I would scrub the sink, and one day I noticed that when I stopped eating dairy, like I stopped it for like a week, I think. And I noticed that when I would come into work, the sink wouldn't smell bad. And then like I don't know what made me put two and two together, but I was like, maybe it's the dairy. So I went and like I think I ate like a bagel or something with some cream cheese, and like maybe an hour or two later, the sink started to smell again, and I was like,
Wow.
this is me. It has to be me. And I tried it a couple more times, and now like anytime I ate dairy, the sink would start to stink, and I was like, yo, that's so. It was so crazy, and I couldn't tell anybody about it. Like I wanted to so bad, but like that was
Yeah.
so
I
weird.
mean, when we had a conversation, you were talking to me about the magic sink and how
Yeah, the magic sink.
it can predict or not. I mean, show you if you smell bad. But I want you to talk a little bit about like your situation when you got to Dunkin' Donuts, because you
Hmm.
said like before that, once the Italian store or Italian restaurant got closed, you tried to apply for other jobs and they just wouldn't
Oh
allow
yeah,
you.
yeah. Like, and I've never been the type to not have a job. I've had a job ever since I was 17 or 16. So I've always had a job. I've never been like a month, like more than a month without a job, or not even like more than like a week without a job. I can get jobs really fast. And um that whole month that I didn't like I was looking for work, nobody hired me. And it was just so strange. Like I would go to interviews that I know I was like qualified for because I've been
Right.
doing this since I was 17. I would apply for jobs that I know I could get, and they wouldn't hire me. It was just so weird. And I went to like I think 5 or 6 interviews, and people would like I went to this one interview, this lady was like fanning herself. I mean, it could have been hot or
Wow.
cold. So I was like, I don't like what's going on. So she was like fanning herself, and I had another interview where a man was he was doing like this the whole time, and he kept like doing like nose things, and I was just like I wanted to leave. Like it was
Let me
just
ask you
so
that.
embarrassing.
When you were doing those 5 to 6 interviews, was that the time where you started to notice that you possibly had bad breath, or was this the time where the kids said that you smelled bad? Is this after that, or this is before
Yeah,
that?
that was after the kids situation. So that's when I was like, this is more than just my breath. Like I knew it was my breath, but now I knew it was more than just my breath. Because when I passed by the kids, my mouth wasn't open. I wasn't talking to anybody. So I was like, it has to be something on my body as well. So,
Mm.
mm-hmm. Yeah, so
So,
nobody hired me.
so no one hired you,
Mm-hmm.
and then you went into Dunkin' Donuts, but you also told me like the manager couldn't smell you, but all the other workers could, or they would react to you, and everybody else would react to you except the manager,
Except
basically.
the manager, yeah. And I think that's one of the reasons why I did get the job was because she never reacted to me ever. Like I never saw her like, and because we have like we can detect people's like motions just like that. Like I
Yeah,
can
you can
tell if
read
you
faces.
think,
Yeah.
yeah. So she never gave off any type of like uncomfortable facial expressions or like any,
Hmm.
whatever. So she like I think that's one of the reasons why I got hired. But all of my other coworkers, they like anytime I would speak, they would be like this, and like
Wow.
they would touch like the side of their nose, and like I don't know, they would always make excuses to go to the back, and they would like avoid talking to me, and they would get mad if they had to like be at a station next to me. And actually this one day, um we had a new girl come in. This is like maybe like a month or two after I started working there. And a new girl came in, and then she trained with me, and like the next day she quit. And like, I mean,
Wow.
yeah, like I mean, it could have been anything. She
Yeah, it
might
could
have
be. It
not
could be
liked it.
anything.
Huh?
I'm pretty sure it could be like the
Yeah,
pay
it
or
could have been,
something.
yeah, it could have been anything, but at the same time, like she trained with me all day, and then all of a sudden I thought we were having a good day, but I mean, I don't know.
She didn't
Um
react or didn't do anything
she
weird.
she did. She was reacting to me, and she was just like acting like she didn't want to, be next to me. So, and the next day she quit. But I mean, it could have been anything.
Hmm. That's very interesting. I mean, so when that happened, like what made you decide to quit this the Dunkin' Donuts job? Or did you get fired?
It
I
was a
don't know.
mixture of things, because the reactions were getting to the point where like and the reactions from the customers were even worse than my coworkers, because I think after a while they started to get kind of used to it, because I was there every day.
Were you like
So
the cashier?
yeah, I was like the like I would work the drive through, and
Oh, okay.
yeah, I would work the drive through, and I work the front counter. They always put me on front counter for whatever reason, I guess because like I don't know. I don't know why they put me on front counter all the time, but that's where you have to interact with the most people, and there's like different stations where like you can make the drinks, and you can do like there's different things you could do. But she always, because my manager couldn't smell me, she always put me on the front counter, and she didn't, I guess she didn't know, like, you know,
Yeah,
about
of
it.
course. And that's the thing. It's funny because I would think like if the coworkers were reacting to you, they probably would say something to the manager or something like that. I think that's happened to me. Like people would like tell the manager or whatever, but I guess that didn't happen in your case.
Yeah, it's because like the Dunkin' that we were at, well, that I was at, we ran through people a lot, so it didn't have anything to do with me. It was just like people weren't there long enough to even complain about anything. So,
Oh, okay.
hmm yep. So, it was, I don't know, the reactions from the customers were even worse. Though it was ridiculous, and like the kids were like brutal. The adults were, it's crazy how immature adults can be, actually, because they were even worse than the kids sometimes.
Hmm.
Like I had a lady, she came in with her like her mother or something, and the whole time she sat there like this,
Wow.
like she was just so uncomfortable, and I was just like, why are you even in here if like I don't know, it was just, if it smells that bad. But I've had people like get up and leave when I come into
The coworkers or just like the
the
people
people.
at the Dunkin'.
Yeah, though they would look at me, and then they would like do a reaction, and then they would get up and leave.
And is this
And
the time where you just said you just stopped trying to do you just stopped trying to have a follow a diet? Because you said there
mhm.
was one point where you just stopped trying to follow a diet, you started smoking, started drinking, do whatever. Was that the time that was happening?
Yeah, that's around the time I wasn't doing well, I stopped the diet around the time that I was working at Dunkin', because like it was just it started to get really inconvenient, because I was having to work all the time, and obviously I worked around like food, and
Yeah,
it was
sugary
free.
food.
Yeah, so I was like, well, I may as well eat this food because it's free and
Yeah,
whatever. So um and obviously Dunkin' wasn't paying me like, good money. So
yeah.
I was I just ate the food there because it was free, and that's when I cut the diet. But after I stopped Dunkin', that's when I kind of started to like smoke and drink again. But I wasn't doing all of it at once when I was working at
Oh,
Dunkin'.
okay.
Hmm
I do want to ask you this. So before you cut the diet, what type of things were you eating, or type of things were you abstaining from?
I stayed away. At first I was really strict about my diet. Like I made sure I didn't eat any dairy, and I didn't eat gluten. I didn't. I was eating really small portions, and what else? I was following the no or low choline diet, so I would make sure I wasn't eating any meat either. So I was basically like a vegan.
Yeah.
Hmm
And I guess you didn't really see too much success because you felt like it didn't really affected
Yeah,
your body odor.
actually, when I was taking the supplements, I felt like I was getting more reactions. And I like, because I started to take like, maybe I was just taking too many at once, and I was trying too many things and not trying it for long enough, because I know that you have to let this stuff build up in your system. And at first I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So I would like try something for a week and be like, oh my gosh, this isn't working. So I would do like something else. And then I would like try that for a week and I'll be like, this isn't working. So I wasn't really doing it right. Like, I don't know. But I
Can
mean,
you
nothing was
tell me
working.
can you tell me like the type of supplements you tried to use?
I was using I used kelp and zinc for a little bit, and then I used chlorophyll and activated. I didn't start using activated charcoal until like a couple months down the line, but I started using chlorophyll. I used the um, black tea, which I think made it a lot worse. And I think chlorophyll actually. I read something where like recently where a lady took liquid chlorophyll, and that's what triggered her body odor. And like
Really?
hmm and I think chlorophyll actually made it worse. And like right after that, my body odor like heightened to the point where it was like on a 10. So
Wow, that's
yeah,
very interesting. Because I
yeah,
know chlorophyll is made with like has like copper in it as well. Maybe that does something. For me, chlorophyll actually helped me. I know, I guess there's like a mixed reaction, a mixed bag, because some people say it's good, some people say it's not. For me, like if I take like double or triple the dosage, it affected me in a positive way. But in your case, it actually made it worse.
yeah. And I was taking the liquid form. I can't remember which brand, but I was taking just that
Chlorofresh.
at first. I think that's the first supplement I started taking was the chlorophyll. And
Mm,
I felt like that made it worse. And I also I was doing like those the saltwater flush. I would do those I would do those probably every couple of days, and I think that actually made it worse too. Like
mm,
I don't know. I was doing too much stuff to my body at once, and I think it just kind of like was too much for it to handle.
right.
So,
Yeah, I
yeah.
remember doing a lot of stupid cleanses like that. I remember doing the saltwater flush in college, the master cleanse, which is like you do like hot sauce and a lemon.
Yeah,
And
like I did that too. I did the master cleanse with the cayenne and the lemons and stuff. Like no, I didn't like that either.
yeah, it doesn't do shit. It doesn't do shit. It's just all hocus pocus bullshit.
Yeah.
But um, do you? I did want to talk about TheraBreath because I've heard stories that it helps
hmm
people with halitosis, but you're telling me it didn't help for you. It didn't work for you.
No, TheraBreath, I do like it because it does make your mouth smell really, I mean not smell. It makes your mouth feel really refreshed and clean, which a lot of us we can't like I know for me, like when I brush my teeth it doesn't feel like, oh like nice fresh minty like whatever. It just like it feels the same as after I before I brush it. So um TheraBreath does make it smell, I mean feel better, but it doesn't make it smell any better. I think it makes it worse actually.
Wow. Does it
Yeah.
have like some type of scent? Some like did they put like mint or something in it to make it
There
smell?
is a mint like thing and it like I don't know, scent. I used two different types, but it's really expensive. That's why I stopped using it.
How
It
much does it
was
cost? I don't know,
it's like $8 or something at
but I guess
Target.
it runs out very quickly.
It doesn't there's not that much in it because you have to use it a couple times a day. Um but there's I used the one for dry mouth because at first I thought my bad breath like stemmed from dry mouth. So I was like using the dry mouth one at first and that wasn't helping. So I switched to the like the blue one, the mint one, and that wasn't helping either. So I just like cut it out completely.
So all those things didn't work for you, and activated charcoal didn't work either. Because I'm thinking about
Activated
trying
charcoal
that.
actually it helps a little bit, but not like it helps some people. I know that for
Did you get the pill form?
hmm
Because I was thinking about getting like the bulk form where you can take like a big scoop of it. I don't think the small amount of pills are really gonna do so much help. I don't know.
yeah, I know that the more I take of it though, it actually makes me smell a little worse too. I don't know what it is. Like I feel like if I take too much stuff at once, like my body doesn't like that. So I have to
Yeah.
take like small amounts of things at one time because I know, oh, I was taking D2 too. Like I had a routine. that I was sticking to for a while, and I was taking chlorophyll, um, B2, zinc, and activated charcoal, and I would like spread it out throughout the day. And I noticed that when I was taking all of those, like my body odor was I got reactions like crazy, and I didn't know what it was. So I stopped taking it, and when I stopped taking it, I got less reactions. So right now I'm not taking anything.
Well, do you think you have TMAU?
Like like type 1 or type 2.
I don't know, any type, any type.
I think I have, I don't know, cuz TMAU 2 is the acquired one. So I feel like it's
Yeah.
acquired, like something that had to do with my lifestyle, or like maybe like I have some form of TMA 1, and I just triggered it by doing like having the lifestyle that I had. I don't know, but I don't know. If I had the money, I would get tested, but as of right now,
Yeah, I actually wanted to ask you that. Do you have any type of insurance, and did you go to any doctors within the past 8 months? You said you only had it for 8 months, correct?
yeah, I went to the doctor probably like 3 times about this particular issue, and they just kind of brushed me off. Like he was like, I told him, because at first I thought it was coming from my tonsils, and I told him, I was like, hey, like my tonsils are really swollen, and like I think it's
Your
maybe
your tonsils are
causing.
still swollen?
Yeah, they're still swollen to this day. Like I mean, this is why I stopped going to the doctor completely, to be honest, and because they just blow my mind. Like I told him about my swollen tonsils, and he was like, oh yeah, 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 like it's fine. Like they happen all the time. Like tonsils swell all the time. But I was like, but mine are swollen to like the point where I can't like breathe sometimes. And he's like, no, it's fine.
Whoa.
Yeah, and I mean they've gone down since then, like a little bit, but like it's not as problematic. But before it was really bad, and he prescribed me some antibiotics, and I didn't take them because I was afraid, because I've never taken antibiotics before, so I just didn't want to start just because like he said it was gonna go away. So I didn't take it, but like it still hasn't gone away, and maybe that's I don't know. Like I felt like it wouldn't have gone away had I taken those regardless, you know? So
So you still have them to this day?
yeah, to this day I still have it. And I bring it up like anytime I go to the doctor, I bring it up and they're just like, no, it's fine. Like your tonsils are fine. I was like, I don't know, like I guess they're fine.
Is it hard to swallow things? Like, is there some type of pain?
No, there's no pain or anything. It's just they're just really big. And I know that it can't be normal because like I don't know, it's just there's no pain or anything, but they're big to the point where like I don't know, it's just uncomfortable. Like sometimes I can feel my tonsils like touch each other. Like they'll swell and then they'll go back down, and they'll swell and then they'll go down a little bit, but they're never like a normal size.
So you never went to like the dentist or anything like that?
Oh
It was
yeah, I
just
went to
like,
the dentist. Oh, actually at the dentist, they clean my teeth or whatever, and they were like, yeah, you have like amazing teeth, like there's nothing wrong with them, you floss, you, because I was like a lunatic about the way I brushed my teeth. So
yeah.
like my oral hygiene was on point, so they had nothing to complain about there. But um when I was actually in there, I heard some ladies like talk about the way it smelled, and then they sprayed around the room that I was in, like around the outside of the door, when I was at the dentist.
Wow.
Hmm.
So, but the doctors just blew you off. They didn't believe that it was a thing.
Yeah,
They
I asked the doctor every time I ever went there about the issue. I would ask them if I smelled, and they would be like, "I can't smell you." I would ask the nurses, but when I would be in the waiting room, the receptionist at the desk would be reacting. The people in the lobby would be reacting. I had some kids one day. Um, they told their mom, they were like, "Mommy, it smells like pee. This girl smells like pee."
wow.
Yeah, but
Jesus
like, and
Christ.
yeah, and she was like, be quiet, be quiet. And I mean, I knew it was directed towards me, but I couldn't do anything about it. I just had to sit there and wait.
Mm. So I do want to ask you this, like in terms of college, like when do you have to actually go to actual college, go to the campus and endure the the comments or the people?
Coming up this fall semester is when I have to, because once this spring semester is over, that's when I just like I have no choice. And it's either, stop my degree or figure out a way to make this, I
Work.
don't know, make this a little better to the point where I
Mhm.
can like be around other people.
Well, I did want you to talk a little bit about your degree, like what you're trying to major into. I think it had something to do with like nursing, or I don't recall.
Yeah, at first it was nursing and um it was pre-nursing, but they passed a law in Georgia where like you can't get a degree in something you can't get a job in. So pre-nursing you can't get a job in anything. So they changed it to exercise science and nursing. So it's like two in one, basically. And I really want to go to nursing school and stuff like that, but nursing school requires a lot of dedication, and you have to be around other people because obviously you're going to be a nurse. So I don't know. I'm thinking about changing, my direction a little bit and probably just doing something in the field of exercise science more so like I
So what is that? What does exercise sound like? Sports medicine or something like
yeah,
that, where
sports
you help
medicine, like,
athletes?
yeah, things like that. Like you could be like a dietitian or nutritionist, things like that. And um I wouldn't mind doing something like that because you can like sometimes you can find like online work. I'm kind of like thinking in perspective of I'm going to have this for a really long time, so I'm trying to like, plan for that.
You can be a dietitian remotely. I never heard of that. That's
I've
interesting.
Yeah, I've heard of a couple of people have like businesses where they're dietitians and they just help people from um like online, like they text
Oh,
them.
so they're like Skype. Okay, this is what
Yeah.
you need to eat, or something like
Hmm.
that.
Yeah. Basically, like a health
It's
coach
so.
type of thing.
So, are you trying to be a dietitian? Like, what are the possible things that you think you would think would be a good job or a good career to have at the moment, since you're thinking about not really becoming a nurse?
Probably, I mean, at this point, I really don't know. Like, I haven't been researching all the stuff that, like, the possibilities that my degree could bring, but I know that even with this, I could get my CNA license and be like a at-home nurse where I could just take care of one person or like,
Yeah,
yeah, and I wouldn't have to be around so many different people. Um, I know a few people with this are nurses where they just take care of like one person inside like their home or like an older person and they just take care of them inside their home. Um, that's something that I wouldn't mind doing. But as far as like, I don't know, being around a lot of other people, maybe like eventually I'll get to the point where I don't mind as much. Like I won't care to even like care about other people's reactions. But at this
I don't know. I think you're gonna still care. I don't know.
Yeah, at this
The
point in
person who had it for
time,
so long, I think you're gonna care.
yeah, at this point in time, I don't think I would be able to just go, I don't know, to nursing school right now. I could always go back and get um my RN license or whatever the case may be, but right now, I don't think I will.
Well, I'm glad you're talking about that because I was thinking to myself, I was talking to another person who actually is a nurse. I don't know if she wants me to say her name, but she's actually a nurse as well, and
Hmm.
she tells me that she does her thing like 2 times a day. I mean, 2 times a week, and throughout the remainder of the week, she doesn't do anything. And
Yeah, I
she,
know that nurses they get the bulk of their hours in one day. So like they will work like, crazy long shifts and then work 3 days a week and they'll be set for the rest of the week. So I mean, once you get through like nursing school and you get through like the hard part, it's not that bad, but it's just getting through the hard part is
yeah,
just
it's
what,
really difficult.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I wish I knew that shit. If you could only work 3 days a week, that sounds like the shit. That sounds great.
Yeah, and nurses make really good money too. So it's not like, they're making what everybody else makes in 5 days in like a couple days. So it's really
Oh,
good.
she's in the comments right now. What's up, Carol Williams? I don't know if she wanted me to shout her out, but in any case, yeah, I heard like nurses make a lot of money. Um,
Yeah.
do dietitians and other people in sports medicines make that same amount or close to it, or is it like night and day
Um,
difference?
A lot of those other things are more. It's just not as much. Yeah, it's not as much. It's sustainable living, obviously, but it's not like, you know, a lot. It's around 40,000 salary.
That's pretty
Yeah,
good money.
yeah,
I
pretty
do want
good.
to ask you this. This is me being nosy, but
Hmm.
you said that you live by yourself in Atlanta with your apartment. I mean, before we got onto the chat, it looked like you had a pretty good apartment. Like, how much you paying for that a month?
I pay like seven around 700 for this apartment, but yeah, I mean it's not the best, but it's
It looks
what I
nice.
yeah, it's what I could get for the moment. And actually, funny story about this, when I moved in here, the landlord, not the landlord, but like the leasing office manager or whatever, um she actually showed me around the place before I moved in here. And I like it was just me and her, and I was like, "Hey, can I ask you a question?" And sorry, excuse me. I was like, hey, do I smell bad? And she was like, girl, what are you talking about? She's like, no, you don't. But the crazy thing is, like, I was in the leasing office before that, and she was like
Rubbing her
standing like,
nose.
yeah, she was standing like this great distance away from me, and like doing all like this, and like she was talking to me, but she was standing like unusually far away from me, and
Really?
I was like, it was weird. And so that's why I asked her, and she said no, but it was just odd. Like,
Are you upfront? I do want to ask you. I don't know. There's a lot of things I want to ask you because a lot of people just see your ceiling right now, but I don't know. It looked like you had a pretty great apartment. But
mhm.
so speaking about her, like, do you are you more upfront with people about your odor? Do you like say, "Hey, do I smell bad?" or I have this weird odor condition, and it's not because I don't take a bath. It's just
Mhm.
because I just have this disease. Do you try to say something like that? Because that's what I try to do. And nowadays in interviews, just say, "Oh yeah, I have TMAU, and this is the reason why I smell bad." Do you ever try to do something like that, or just be upfront
Yeah,
about your odor condition?
I do. Actually, a couple of times I've asked the people that I used to be friends with. I'm not really close to anyone anymore. Which I know I should like start, being close to people again, because I
Yeah.
used to have so many friends, and I used to, like I told you, I used to go out, and now I don't really talk to anybody because I work from home, and like everybody, like people would invite me out, and I would just say no. So obviously eventually people stopped inviting me places. So um I just kind of like stay to myself. But yeah, I was really open at first, and all of the friends that I used to hang out with, they were like, no, like we never smelled anything. And but as far as random people, not so much, because I don't know, it just makes me like, I don't know, it's weird. It's
It
weird.
is
Like,
weird. It
yeah,
is
like
weird.
I don't know. I just don't want to make them feel uncomfortable. And even if like I ask them, like there's no telling if they're actually telling you the truth.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just feel like it wouldn't help. So most of the people that I do ask is people that I've been around. And also, um, my grandmother actually came for Christmas, and I
Oh,
hadn't seen her in like a couple months. So I was like, okay, perfect opportunity to ask somebody that I haven't, seen in a while, if I, about it. Um, so she was at my mom's place, and I was like doing my laundry over there, and I had put like a load of clothes in the machine, and I came downstairs, and I was just like talking to her, and it was like maybe like a 3 or 4 minute conversation, and she, like the whole time she was going like this and like rubbing her nose and like doing like this, and like reacting basically like how everybody else would. And she was like, have you checked your clothes? And I was like thinking to myself, like, I just got down here. And she was like, you should probably go check your clothes. Like, it was almost like she was making an excuse for me to like get away from her. So she was like, go, like, why don't you just go check your clothes? Or like,
oh, really? So you feel like
yeah,
your grandmother was not being honest with you or trying to avoid you? That's
yeah, it was like she was trying to avoid me. And I was like, because like I said, I had only been down there for like 5 minutes. And she was like, haven't you checked your clothes? And I was like, I just put them in. But like, I didn't say anything, but it was just really strange.
mm,
And then I went and asked her, and I was like, "Hey, grandma, like, um, what, like, I noticed you were like doing all like this earlier, and I was like, do I smell bad? And she was like, no, why do you say that? And I was like, because you were like, reacting. She was like, oh, I think it was just like, the dust. And I don't know, it was just like really, because a lot of people use that excuse, like it was the dust, but like I don't know, it was a weird
That's
situation.
really odd because for me, like at least with the relationship with my grandmother, you know, I don't think she ever reacted to me. Even in
Hmm.
times where I was like sweaty and stuff, like or I felt like I was gonna smell bad or she was gonna say something, like she never
Hmm.
rubbed her nose or tried to get me out of there. It's very strange because I naturally think that a lot of people, a lot of their family members or close family members wouldn't smell them. But in your case, you said I remember reading a comment that you made on one of my videos. You said like your sister sprayed Febreze on you or something like that.
Yeah, like it was so weird, and like they swear up and down they cannot smell me, but I don't know, like there's something odd like about the way they act around me, because like they like almost, when I tell them I'm coming over to their house, they almost like prep for it. Like I'll see like 3 or 4 bottles of Febreze, and like brand new bottles of Febreze, and like a new candle, and they'll be spraying all the time when I get there. And like she was like, we were about to go somewhere. And then she started spraying like all around with the Febreze, and then she sprayed
Wow.
me. And I was like, why did you do that? And she was like, I don't know. And I was like, it was just weird. Like it wasn't even like she was trying to be funny. Like she said it with a straight face, and I was like, okay. Like it was so strange. I was like, why would you do that though?
Yeah.
So yeah, and they'll just talk about like, oh, like something stinks. Like it like they'll just say something stinks in general. But then I'll be
Wow.
like, I don't smell anything. What does it smell like? And she's just like, I don't know. It stinks. Like, I don't know.
Hmm. I
Yeah.
don't know what to make of that. I do want to say this because I didn't look at chat in a while, and I know Carol Williams, the one I was talking about. I don't even know if I can scroll up. Oh man, I can't scroll up. Um, I think Carol Williams, who was like the nurse I was talking about, she
Hmm.
wanted to know your contact information. Are you willing to give out your email or something if people want to
Yeah,
talk
my
to you?
email definitely for sure. You can leave it in the comments, or
Okay, because she said she also made a comment or made a question like, "What are you doing to manage it right now at this moment?"
right now, I was talking to you a little bit about this because I think you're doing the same thing. But I've noticed that for like the past like week or two, I've been doing the where I've only been eating one meal a day, and that's really helped a lot. And I try to stick to like the same foods. Like I try not to have too much variety in my diet. I noticed that like if I bounce around with different foods, that like I don't know, maybe it's too much for my stomach to process. So that's what makes it, I don't know, the smell worse. But I noticed that if I like eat too much, or if I eat too often, then like I'll start to get a smell. So I eat around the same time every day, and I'll eat like a small meal, which is not good, but like I try to, like I don't know, that's what's been working. So I'm like kind of desperate at this point.
You just eat small meals.
Yeah, I'll just eat like not like a crazy small meal, but like I'll have like a salad with some chicken on top, and or I'll have
And that's all you eat throughout the whole day?
yeah, because it's been helping. Like I don't know what it is, but I try to drink like drinks with calories in it. So I'll drink like Gatorade, sweet tea. Like I'll try to
Oh,
drink like what?
I mean, I don't know. I would think like the Gatorade is the thing that's gonna make you smell really bad since it's like made with all these like artificial sugars and stuff. And
Sugar doesn't really bother me too much. Like I know a lot of people say like sugar is like really bad, but sugar doesn't affect me. I don't think so. Like the Gatorade, and like I'll drink like green tea, and like I'll try to drink stuff with
you don't think
calories in it.
you don't drink just plain water?
Yeah, I drink water too, but like because I only have one meal a day, I try to like have something to drink with like calories in it. I don't know, to just like make up for that. But sometimes I'll have like a smaller snack right before I go to sleep, or like a couple hours before bed. I'll have like a bowl of cereal, and then I'll have like that my meal.
But you said like milk is bad for you, or milk makes you smell
I
worse.
use
You
coconut
just
milk.
oh, coconut milk. You don't
Mhm.
feel like coconut milk is hurts you or makes you smell worse?
Nope, coconut milk doesn't affect me. Almond milk does though, so I stopped drinking almond milk. And any
Mm.
type of nuts are really bad. I've noticed that beef is really bad. I mean, obviously for it's pretty much bad for everybody. Pork is bad, so I just eat chicken, and that's it.
Do you feel like seafood makes you smell worse?
Yes. Oh my god, I had the worst reaction of. I mean, like I could smell myself. That's how bad it was. Um, I had some shrimp. I still have them in there because I was just like, I'm just gonna try. I don't know what like possessed me to do this, but I was like, I'm just gonna try it. Like, and I cut up some shrimp and I cooked it, and I cooked it with some chicken, and I had it in some rice and some like with some other vegetables and stuff. And it was really good. But like the next day, I was in my car on my way to like do whatever, and I literally kept smelling fish, and I was like, "Oh my god, this has to be from like the shrimp that I ate last night." And it was so strong. Like I let down my window, and I could still smell it. And yeah, it was like honestly, it was disgusting. Like it was like I couldn't breathe. And I was like, "Wow, like if this is what I smell like, I feel so bad for other people because that's one of the only times I've ever smelled myself before."
Yeah, I do actually want to talk to you about that. I mean, how many times in your life do you feel like you have smelled yourself, excluding the one that you just told me right now?
I have so myself. I actually have this like technique where I can not smell myself, but I can detect whether I smell or not. Like there's a room in like a laundry room that I have, and there's no I don't have a washer and dryer in it. So there's just like boxes and stuff in there. But I noticed that whenever I would open it, it would smell really, really bad. And I'm like, ew, what is that smell like? Why does it smell so weird in here? Because there was nothing in there but boxes. So I was like, so I took the boxes out. Now there's nothing in there. And like, I don't know, anytime I open it and close it, like it smells. It smells really bad. And like, um, I started to recognize when I was like doing something that I thought was helping, it wouldn't like the laundry room wouldn't smell like that. So like I think like the smell gets trapped in there, and that's how I can like sense the way I smell, or like if I smell, because I don't think I that's actually the way I smell. I don't know.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I think that is weird. Like with the magic sink, and now it's like your dryer place or something. It's so
Yeah,
weird.
it's weird. But, like there's different, and like also underneath my sinks too. Like sometimes I'll open underneath my sinks and they'll smell really really bad, and like sometimes they'll smell fine, and that it smells like the same as the laundry room. So I don't know. This probably makes me sound so crazy, like, but
No, this whole thing, this whole disorder thing is really crazy. So
it
I
is.
mean,
It is. It definitely
just
is.
just like when the reason why I asked you about like the doctors. I mean, yeah, it's a general question I'm going to ask you, but like just the other day, I went I went to the doctor's office and I told him like, I told him like, hey, I got this weird condition. She's like, yeah, I think you need to see the psychiatrist. I'm like,
Yeah, I've been recommended to go see a psychiatrist too. Like
yeah,
he was like, yeah, like I'm just like maybe you should go see somebody about this. Like, and I'm just like that's not what it is. Like I'm not just seeing things, and my family thinks that too. They're like just the other day I brought this up to my mom because I've told them that I feel like I don't smell good. But my mom was like, yeah, like you're too old to be acting like this. Like you need to
mm,
like it's too like you're just, I guess she thinks I'm just like making it up for attention or something. And I'm
wow,
like, I mean, like why would I carry this on for this long and just for attention, you know?
yeah, yeah. It doesn't make I don't know. They try to make sense of it too in their heads.
Yeah,
I
and
don't know
like
why you would. I don't know. That's so stupid.
yeah.
No offense to your mother, but I did want
No,
to ask.
it's definitely something that is like frustrating because I'm just like I would not make this up, you know?
Exactly. I did want to ask you, like, how old is your sister? How many like siblings do you have?
I have a younger sister and an older brother. My brother he's the one where with my nephew. And actually, he doesn't react to me. Actually, one time he actually did, because I went to their house. Actually, he's been reacting here lately now that I think about it. But he I was over there and I was just, sitting on the couch talking to them, and he kept smelling his armpits. Like, he would like sniff or like the air and then smell his armpits as if he was like like searching for a smell. So that was really weird. But I didn't ask him about it. It could have, he could have just been smelling himself, but I've never noticed him do that before, so I don't know.
I did want to ask you from the chat. Carol Williams asked you, "Have you ever been tested for TMAU?"
No, I've never been tested before. It's just not something I feel like a lot of people that get tested, like, you have to go through like, hoops and bounds to get there. And
Yeah,
I haven't had the time to just, or the money, because you got to pay to go to the doctor. So I haven't had the time or money to really just like put into like convincing one doctor to like begging and pleading for them to,
yeah, that's
it's a lot. So maybe
yeah.
one day when I have like the time and the resources to do it, I wouldn't mind getting tested just so I can like know for a fact that like I have something, or I don't have something.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Since you don't even have any like health insurance, it must be really expensive going to these doctors.
No, no, I have health insurance,
Oh, you
but
do?
yeah, but I mean, you still have to pay like the co-pay or whatever. I think it's different for everybody, but
Well, what is
um,
your copay?
it's like 35. It's kind of expensive.
Jesus
So
Christ.
yeah, so I mean, it's
My
not
copay
something.
is $7.
Yeah, you must got good insurance. But yeah, mine is like 30 something every time I go. So
How much do you have to pay monthly?
it's through my mom still. So
Oh,
yeah,
I had to pay like $109 a month. So you know what I mean. So I guess
yeah,
it's okay. I don't know.
yeah. That's actually not that bad. I wouldn't mind paying that, but once I get like off my mom's insurance and my own insurance, then that's when I'll probably find a better one.
Mm. So okay, so I think I asked you. Okay, so I already asked you about diet, and basically all you eat is a chicken and salads.
Yeah, and
Chicken
I'll
and
eat
salad.
like I eat Chick-fil-A a lot. I know like people are gonna like scold me in the comments, but I like Chick-fil-A. It doesn't. I don't have reactions because it's like I know there's different stuff that they bread it with, but it doesn't. I don't have like super hypersensitivity. Like I know some people, they'll like eat one thing, like they'll have like like some popcorn or something, and just like the reactions will just flare up instantly. But
Yeah,
it takes a not a lot, but it takes a good amount for me to like start like producing the odor. So
yeah.
um, what'd you
So
say?
you still go out to eat, and I think like Chick-fil-A basically is like chicken and rice and beans. Like that's like most of their menu, right?
Um, no, they don't have rice or beans, but the Chick-fil-A is just like chicken, and they have like waffle fries and potatoes. They don't interact with me, so the potatoes are good. Like they are just like potatoes and sea salt. So I'll eat the fries and I'll just get like chicken nuggets, and that will be what I eat for today for that day. But
Chicken nuggets.
vegetables,
So you eat like fried chicken, and it doesn't really.
yeah, it doesn't affect me. But like I said, I mean it's different for everybody. But if I have like a small amount of it, but I'm sure if I were to eat like as much as I wanted to, I would react. Um but what was I say? Like vegetables are, I don't know why they're so like spinach especially. Spinach is really bad. Like
Really bad
really
for you.
bad. Yeah. What's another one? Tomatoes are um pretty bad too. I noticed that red peppers aren't too bad. Any vegetable really. And all the like broccoli and like whatever else. Those are all the vegetables that I used to eat, like kale. I used to eat kale a lot. I can't eat that anymore.
Yeah, kale makes me smell bad.
Yeah.
I mean,
Um
kale smells bad, so I'm pretty
yeah,
sure in
kale
your
smells
system.
bad. So I mean, I don't eat Brussels sprouts. Like my sister loves Brussels sprouts and she
Yeah.
always tries to get me to eat them. And she's like, "Why don't you eat like Brussels sprouts or broccoli or any of this stuff?" And like I just don't like I don't have time to convince her.
You're very interesting because I don't really hear too many people talk about still eating like fried chicken, And yeah, you
Yeah,
say
a lot
one
of
meal.
people have a really strict diet to where like, because I was doing like the really strict diet, but I felt like it wasn't doing anything for me. Like I was so miserable to the point where it was just like I'm like doing all this. I'm still getting reactions. I'm hungry. I'm not eating the foods I want to eat. So like I just started experimenting and I noticed that whenever I would eat like Chick-fil-A, I wouldn't like the smell wouldn't be as bad or I wouldn't get as many reactions. So I just started like eating that. But I mean I don't eat it every day, but I
Every now and then you do.
every now and then that I'll have that and I won't react. So I stick with the stuff that makes me not like have a whole bunch of reactions. And also when my smell is really bad, I react to myself, like not in the sense that like I can smell myself, but like my nose will burn. I don't know if you've ever had anybody say this, but my like sometimes when I would wake up in the morning, my nostrils would just like burn almost as if like how like when you drink soda and like you burp and like it comes like I don't know it burns your nose
Hmm.
a little bit. That's how it will be, and like it'll burn the inside of my nose. And like one time I heard my mom say it too. She was like, yeah, like I don't know if I'm getting sick or something, but like my nose is burning. And almost
Yo,
like I have to
I don't
sneeze.
know if it was only you who said this, but I think I've heard somebody else say that. Um, that my nose is burning. I think it was in a Saturday night hangout. Somebody said that my nose is burning, or there was some type of reaction where they said the other person said that their nose was burning
Hmm.
or itching or some weird shit like that.
Yeah,
That's
like
very
and it happens when I'll open my mouth. So, um, like if it's really bad, like that's how I can tell if my breath is really bad because I'll speak and my nose will start burning. And it hasn't happened lately, but yeah, it'll
well. You've been
burn.
rubbing your nose a lot lately.
Oh yeah,
Throughout
I
the
don't know.
interview.
That's just a habit that I have,
Oh,
but I know
really?
that's really weird. But huh?
I just said, oh, really?
Yeah.
So. Huh. My nose is burning. So
Hmm.
it's not like an itchy thing. It's just like it
No,
just
it's not
feels
itchy.
weird.
It's like almost like how like before you have to sneeze and you don't sneeze. That's how it is. It's kind of like irritating. Like it's just like
Okay, it irritates you.
yeah, it's
It irritates
irritating.
you.
It's just like why like I don't know. It's weird.
Let me ask
And go ahead.
let me ask you this. So do you feel like within some reactions that you get people to make their nose runny?
Yeah, it's when I it's funny because like I have two dogs and
Oh, you have two dogs. Cool.
sometimes when I'll like talk to my dog or whatever, his nose will start running. I don't know if that's like
Wow, that's crazy.
yeah. So I don't know if it's me or if it like I but it's all like I never see his nose running ever, but like when I'm speaking to my dog, like it's I don't know, it's so weird.
Damn, he's like, stop talking to me.
Yeah, like
What
and
type
I
of
notice
dogs
my
do you have?
dogs will like smell my breath a lot too. More so than they would like somebody else. Those is like if like say something just in general, like not even like to them or near them, like they'll smell it in the air.
Wow, that's interesting. So I guess that's like the best barometer to have to know if you really smell bad, like your dogs to be able to detect it or something.
Yeah,
That's
I mean my dogs always smell. I mean I know dogs like in general just they kind of like smell in people's mouths or whatever, but like they like I won't even have to be near them and they can smell me. So yep.
What type of dogs you have?
I have a Chihuahua and a Schnauzer, and I mean they're both at my
Those are
mom's
like little,
place.
those little
Yeah, little
size
dogs.
dogs.
Hmm. Little dogs, so but they're cute.
Mm. Yeah, but I know when we had a conversation on the phone, you were talking about how like lonely you are, and there was this, I guess, this old friend that was about to come over, but you
Hmm.
decided to cancel. Like, can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I I invited one of my older friends. Well, not one of my older friends, but since I've been here, she's been my friend, and we used to hang out every day. I used to go over to her house, like and, like play with her kids. None of them ever reacted to me. I would go. She has a couple of sisters. We would all go out. We would all go drink, go to the hookah bars, and whatever else. And ever since this has happened, I haven't really spoken to her too much. for like other reasons. We stopped talking before this like smell thing happened, but we recently started talking again, and I invited her over to my place, and like it happened to not like work out or whatever. But I was really nervous because I was just like, I don't know if like I'm going to, I don't know, waste her time, because like what if she gets over here and like she thinks I stink, and I don't know. It was just like a weird thing, and I was like, and it's crazy because like I don't even know if I would enjoy being around other people at this point, because it's like I know I'm gonna be thinking the whole time like, what if I stink, like, or like holding my breath, or like you know, shielding my mouth or whatever. It wouldn't be about like me just being with them. That's why I
Mhm.
avoid a lot of like social situations with other people, because it's like stressful, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It definitely is stressful, but there's always that possibility. Yeah, and I thought, like, when I was talking to you, I was saying like, she might not smell you. There's a possibility, so you should like at least try to see if it works out, because it does get to you when you're isolated and lonely all the time. But you still decided not to like go forward with the.
No, yeah, so we're supposed to meet up on Friday, and
Oh,
mhm. So yeah, I'm just gonna be straightforward. I'm just gonna ask her and just like, you know, get it over with so I can, you know, like start having like social interactions with other people.
yeah,
But on my birthday, actually, um, I decided, because I hadn't done anything in so long, me and my sister we went to a restaurant, and we ended up going to like a hookah lounge. And the hookah lounge is more like, because I know some hookah lounges are like more um like chill, but this one was more like almost like a club type of situation where you have to get, you know, you have sections and stuff like that.
yeah.
And I got a drink. Actually, I got at the what you call it, I got at the restaurant, I got a glass of wine. And actually drinking, I've heard like I don't know if it was on your podcast or somebody else's, but where alcohol, like it'll suppress it for a little bit, but then the next day it's like really bad. That's
Mm.
how it is for me. So um I had a glass of wine to make sure that like if whatever was smelling was kind of like suppressed. So
And you know that red. Oh, well, I want you to continue your story.
yeah, so um I drank the wine, and then I went when we went to the hookah lounge, I got one drink, and after I had the drink, I noticed that I started to get reactions, because we were actually trying to like wait on a because my birthday was on a Saturday, so it was packed, and we were trying to wait on a hookah, but we ended up leaving because like there was none available, and I was just like I was getting reactions, and I was just starting to feel like uncomfortable and annoyed. So, and you know how like when you get uncomfortable, that's when the smell starts to come. So I
I
was
was
like, you know
gonna
what?
ask you that. Like,
Hmm.
does stress play a factor? Does stress make it worse? Do you smell
Yeah,
worse? Or
for sure. Um, I try my best, and I think that's one of the main causes for me. Well, not causes, but contributing factors to the odor is stress, because I notice whenever I am stressed, that's when the smell comes. Or like, because most of the time in my house, like I can't really smell anything unless I am kind of stressed out. So,
Mm,
hmm,
that's very interesting.
yeah,
I wonder what that is, because I know some people take like anti-anxiety medications. I think Xanax is like one of those
yeah.
anti-anxiety medications.
Hmm.
Try to like de-stress so then they won't smell as bad. I don't know. I never. Have you ever tried to do that?
No, I've never tried that before. Because I mean, I don't have like, I guess you could say now I have some like a form of anxiety, but I've never had like anxiety to the point where it's just, you know, a problem. But I guess that's something that I could try, because now when I do go in social situations, it's just like I am kind of stressed out, which is I
Yeah.
guess a form of anxiety. So I could try that, but I don't know.
Hmm. Well, I do like to ask a lot of people about the future. I know you only had this for 8 months,
Hmm.
and you're like 23. 5 years from now, you'd be like 28. What do you feel like your life will be? What do you think you might obtain? Or where do you see yourself in 5 years with this condition, or in terms of success, or if you think you will have success?
Um, I don't know, because right now it's just like I don't really know exactly where I want to go at this point. Like I was telling you
Mm,
before, it's just like I don't know which direction I want to go in, because before I just had like such a straight goal on, I knew what I was doing and I knew exactly where I was going, and I was going to be a nurse, and by 25 I was going to, you know, have myself established, and I had all these goals for myself, and now it's just kind of up in the air because, you know, everything's a little different. But I still think that eventually I'm gonna get, not get over this, but I'll get to the point where I can, you know, just not really care as much, and I'll be able to finish my um, degree, start nursing school, and I think by the time I'm 28, I'll still have, you know, all the goals that I wanted, um, or set all the, well, not set, what is it, accomplish all the goals that I had before, but um, maybe it just won't, it'll take longer than I first expected.
yeah. And you did say like within college, like you're halfway done. And
Hmm.
you're 23 right now, so maybe at the age of 25, you think you would be able to complete your degree, or
Yeah, I definitely think by the time I turn 25, my degree will be done, but I'm not sure if I would, because after my degree, it's just I have to figure out what I want to do from there. Like, do I want to stop there and just accept the degree and move on, or do I want to get my go to nursing school, finish that um, license, and then go from there? But it all depends. So,
mm,
so you just like how that guy said on, I think on your last podcast, you got to live day by day. That's basically what I'm doing. I'm just living through
yeah,
it.
yeah. I mean, yeah, I definitely understand Kyle's point about living day by day, simply because you don't know. There's nothing to look forward to. I think that's what he was saying. Shout out to Kyle if he's even on here, but I don't know. I feel like that's a really bad idea. I think it's a really bad idea. I feel like, okay, since we have this weird condition and we don't know if it's going to get worse, usually for me, at least in my perspective, like you only have like 1 year, less than 1 year, it does get worse and it might get worse for you. I feel like you should try to plan for the worst, like have a plan B all the time, and always have like some money saved up and stuff like that. But at the same
Mhm.
time, I get why you feel like, man, I'm just living day by day, taking it slow. But I just think if you plan months ahead or years ahead, when bad shit pops off, you have at least something. You
No,
have some
that
type of
yeah,
cushion.
that's kind of like the mentality that I have a little bit. Because I still do have those like goals. Like obviously I want to buy a house. I'm not gonna just limit myself to just, oh, like I don't like lay down and die type of situation. But like
Yeah,
I still want to get a house. I mean I have a car, but I want a nice car. I still want to have a family. I'm just like I still want all those things, but it's just like I don't know how I'm gonna get there yet.
yeah,
I just
yeah.
have to, I don't know, I have to figure out how I'm gonna get there. And it's like a lot of life is just like not trying to figure out how it's gonna happen. You just kind of have to live life and it'll happen, you know? So I don't know. That's what how a lot of things normally happen for me. Like I don't really plan for anything. Things just
You just go
happen.
with the flow.
Yeah, things just happen. Like um when I was really lucky when I got this apartment, I was just like, I wasn't trying so hard to do it. It just kind of came to me. And like,
Mm.
um, when I found this job online, it was like, I wasn't trying, like, it was before I even like left my other job. I just started looking a little bit and then it just came to me and then everything kind of fell into place. So it's kind of like, you just have to go with the flow a little bit. Like,
Damn,
um,
I wish I had something easy like that. Because, damn, I always I go with the flow or try to accomplish something, and I just realize that there's more harder obstacles in place. Like if I feel like, oh, I just gotta go to this hill, I just realize that I need to do other steps before I can even reach that hill. You
yeah,
know, at least for me. But it seems like, and even when you were talking about like getting jobs, you said like, man, getting a job is so easy, bro. It took me so hard for me to get like the first job, and the first job I ever got was when I was like 21. When was the first job you ever got?
my first job was actually at Subway in a mall, and I loved that job. Like I mean for the time being, I was only 17. So I wasn't even out of high school yet, but it was a great job. I had it for 3 years, and like my mom has always been like the type, and I do appreciate my mom like just because she's always been like the like you need to be a go-getter type of person. You need to be independent. Like you can't just like lay down and die about certain things. So um like I've always had a job, like, and because I've always had a job, I've always like had my like resume is pretty good, like, and stuff like that. Like I've worked a bunch of different places, and like I kind of like am a job hopper. Well, I was before. Like now I'm not, because I know I need to, like, have goals to set. But I used to be a job hopper in like high school and early college. Like I would like just hop around to different things just to see what I liked. And um I've worked so many different places, and um like met a whole bunch of different people. And I mean, getting a job has never been a problem for me. I don't know.
Yeah, it was always a problem for me, even right now.
I
But
mean,
going back,
up until now, I've just that's why it shocked me so much, because I would go into interviews and get jobs like the same day. And like going into an interview and that not getting a call back like on four different occasions, that was like, I don't know, that was crazy to me.
yeah,
Yep.
I do want to ask you like the top five possible, if you can say like the top five products
Hmm.
that sort of helped you, what would you name them? If there is any, at least five, could you name?
So products that have helped me, I actually like this deodorant that I've been using. It's um like pH, like secret pH deodorant, the pH balance. That's helped me a lot. I really do like that.
Also, if you know like the price of it, so maybe people can see,
Oh,
look
the
it up and see.
secret pH deodorant, it's literally one of the cheapest deodorants that I've ever bought, to be honest. It's like $2 or $3 cheaper than Dove or Degree. But
Mm.
it's a pH balance. It's for women, and it really helps. Like I really like that a lot. And cranberry juice has helped me a lot. I used to drink cranberry juice, like the one from Target. I forgot the brand of it, and I threw away the bottle. But it's like $8.99. I think the last time I bought it, so it's kind of
Is it like
pricey.
organic? Does
Yeah, it's
organic
organic,
matter?
100% cranberry juice. I was drinking that. That helped a lot, a lot, a lot. And I don't know why I stopped drinking it. I think I'm about to start again, but that helped a lot. Um, there was something else that was helping a lot too. Multivitamins actually helped me a lot too.
Mm.
Just making sure I get my, like, all the nutrients I need, at
Yeah.
least at the bare minimum. So, oh, I do take multivitamins every day too. Like
Mm.
now, I still do, just because I don't eat as much, so I want to make sure I'm getting all my nutrients. But um, I mean, to be honest, like not really, not that much has really helped me. Like, I mean, I
So
feel
the
like I'm not.
Gatorade doesn't help you?
Gatorade doesn't help me. No, like nothing's really helped me. I would say drinking a
Didn't you
lot
say
of
like the
water.
activated charcoal helped you a little bit?
A little bit, but it wasn't like enough to just be like, oh my god, like this helped me start. Like, let me share my story. It was just like a little bit, like, it wasn't. I don't know. I just felt like I wasn't. I don't know. I don't even know how it really helped me. I just felt like I like cleaner. Oh, actually, I do use this body wash right now that's really good. It's called Method Detox. It's like in a green bottle,
Mm.
and I actually think I have it because it's really been helping me.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. If you can show people, that'd be pretty cool. Let me read the chat here. It's 1:21 p.m. in the afternoon, man. I'm good. Just looked at that you were live, so I thought I jumped on, man. Shouts out to Ethan. Let's see here. Jose, I've put two in encouragement. Let me see if she's back on. Is she back on?
Yeah, so like, okay, so this is like the body wash I've been using. It's not this one in particular, but it's the green one. The green one helps like so much because it's like a detox one. And
A
it's
detox body wash. Interesting.
yeah, it makes me feel so 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 clean. And I don't know if you've ever experienced this, where like when you get out of the shower, you don't really feel like, especially when you've been having like a bad like odor day, you
Mm-hmm.
just don't, like, I'll smell my skin and it'll just smell like I hadn't even showered. Like I don't
Mm-hmm.
you won't smell you just won't feel like fresh and clean. But this actually helps. Like I actually can like smell my, like, the scent on my body, and like I can smell, like, I don't know, I just feel like cleaner. It
Mm-hmm.
just, I don't know. Yeah.
Well, I also want to ask you this. I want to ask you, okay, I'm pretty sure there's eventually going to be somebody that watches this and identifies with a lot that you're saying. What would you tell them to, I don't know, to help them eliminate or reduce their odor? What would you recommend to do?
I would recommend to probably just like, I don't know, drink water. And everybody's so different, so you really have to find what works for you. But I would recommend the fasting, so only eating one meal a day. Probably not as extreme as I'm doing because I'm literally like barely eating anything, but like eating one meal a day and giving your body time to processed food, and like not working your body so hard as far as eating like 3 meals a day. I feel like that's one of the reasons why I like was having like such a problem with it, because my body was constantly processing food. Like it was always processing food, so
Right.
it didn't have time to just like properly break down everything I was eating before I got to another meal. So um like allowing my body time to rest and stuff, that has definitely helped a lot. And I think has, I don't know what it's done, but it's definitely helped. I know that for sure. So that's one thing I would recommend.
Mm.
And drinking a
And
lot of water.
drinking a lot of water, one meal a day. Yeah, you know, the thing about one meal a day, I feel like why it's effective is simply because, like, if you think about TMAU in itself, I remember watching this video. I think it's from the channel Eurotis, and they talk about like trimethylamine menuria. They had like a whole hour thing talking about it,
Hmm.
and within that video, they was talking about how there was this one procedure where they were trying to get a certain person only have like 250 milligrams of choline.
Hmm.
And with that, when they did it, the odor wasn't noticeable.
Yeah.
And I think with like one meal a day, since you're only eating so
So
much,
little.
you're not
Yeah.
going to have so much choline.
Yeah.
Therefore, you're not going to smell as bad. I think that's the reason why it
Yeah, that
works.
probably is. Yeah, that's true.
Um, but I think we're winding down here. Is there any questions anybody want to ask Brittany in the chat? Let me see if anybody has any questions. I don't know if it's frozen. Is the cranberry juice? Oh yeah. Okay, I have a question from Jasmine.
Okay.
Uh, she asked, is the cranberry juice RW Nudesen?
I think it might be. It's in like a glass bottle. It's in a really heavy glass bottle. And I wish I knew the name of it, because it's at Target though. It's one of the only cranberry juices they have, but it's the organic. It's 100% organic, and it's just like straight cranberry juice, and it helps a lot. And like it's since it's 100%, it's kind of like, potent, and like it
Yeah.
burns my mouth a little bit. So I'll mix it
Oh,
with
it burns
water.
your mouth.
Yeah, I'll mix it with water sometimes to like, dilute it. But that definitely has helped before. Um but yeah, I just stopped taking it because it's expensive. Like it's like I
Yeah.
said, it's like $9. So
Oh, $9. How long do you feel like it lasts within a week?
I mean, if you drink it a couple of times a day, it'll probably last you 4 or 5 days,
4 or 5
maybe.
days.
Yeah.
Mm,
And that's the thing, like with having this, like we have to go like so above and beyond to like, you know, do stuff. I don't know, like it's so expensive doing all of this.
yeah.
It's
Yeah,
so,
that's
and
that's
that's a reason why I kind of cut everything out at some point, because like I was just like, why am I wasting all my time, all my money to do this, and it's not even helping anything. So now I'm just kind of like slowly trying to do different things. So I don't know, just try to figure it out slowly, because that's why I was like wasting so much money. I was going and I was doing everything I possibly knew how to do at one time, and none of it was working. So
yeah, yeah. That's a funny thing about this weird condition. All the things that people suggest are so expensive and they run out so quickly. And at
yeah.
the same time, a lot of people don't really have great jobs to just be able to buy
Yeah, to
all
be able
things.
to, buy all these things, and it's so expensive. Like I couldn't afford to live the lifestyle of buying like 4 or 5 supplements
Yeah,
like every month. That's like hundreds of dollars, so
yeah, yeah, exactly. But let me look into the chat here. Yeah, just to answer Ethan, yeah, I already asked her. She's been tested for TMAU. Um, a question from the general is asked. He's asking, what is her main smell like, fecal or fish?
I honestly, I don't know what, because a lot of the times when I do hear somebody, I've actually had people pinpoint the smell before, like when I told you about like when those kids said it smelled like pee, and
Yeah,
then my nephew said, "Oh, it smells like poop," like it like, and he was talking about my breath. So I
yeah.
think the smell, and I've actually one time when I walked outside of my house, I actually smelled like fecal. So and then when I got into my car, I didn't smell it anymore. So
So
but I smell. Mhm.
mixture between piss and poo.
Yeah, but I smell a lot of the times when I leave my apartment. Like lately, it's been like a different smell. Like it smells. Oh my god, it's so embarrassing. It smells like hot dog water. Like I don't know. Like it smells really weird. Like I'll go outside and be like,
It
ew.
smells. I guess it's better to smell like poo. I mean,
No, it just
it's an
it smells
upgrade.
so weird. I'm like, ew. It smells like hot dogs. It just smells nasty. And I'll smell like garbage a lot. Like I'll get whiffs of like garbage. That's
Mm.
I think what the main smell is. But
I did want to ask you this. Now that we're talking about the variations in your odor,
mhm.
like, um, have you noticed? Have you ever tried to link that to certain things that you ate before or something like that? Like you smell like hot dog water because you were just eating a gang of hot dogs the day before or something.
Yeah, I think the hot dog water like type of situation stems from like the meat that I eat because I know that like meat has like it gives you a different scent, but I notice that when I eat dairy, it's more of like a like sulfur smell, kind of like rotten eggs. I'll smell that sometimes. And what's a different smell? I don't know. I don't really smell it too often. Just sometimes when I leave my house and I get like, I don't know what it is about leaving. Is like, does that happen to you when you leave your house and you can like smell it a little bit and then like once you reach your car?
I heard someone say that before. I think a user by the name of Real Deal Chick. I remember watching a video and she said one time when she left her house, she always smelled this sulfur or egg smell, and then she realized it was her. So
Hmm.
that's the only time I ever heard someone say that. So, and you're like the second person who said that. So I when I left my house, I don't really smell shit. I'm
Yeah,
like,
I
damn, I smell
always, well,
good.
not always, but it's just like every once in a while, like, and sometimes when I'm this is another really, really important story. This is like one of the main reasons why I wanted to say this. I mean, wanted to be on this podcast was because actually I had one of the worst reactions I've ever had before. And a lot of the times I actually smell like weed. And it's really, and I told you from the beginning, I don't smoke. Like I haven't smoked in 2 years probably. Like I don't smoke, right?
Yo,
So
somebody's told me that before. Somebody told me that, like they smell of weed.
yeah, I like it's so crazy because I literally do not smoke. I swear on like on my life I don't smoke. And this happened like maybe 2 weeks ago. I was driving and had my windows down. Well, actually, before I had my windows down, I started to smell like the weed smell, and I knew it was coming from me because I had smelled it before. And like I know when I start to smell that, it smells like it's me. So and it happens when I'm driving. Like it only happens when I'm driving. And I wasn't around anybody. Like there was nobody in front of me, there was nobody behind me. It was just me on this road. So I
Mm.
knew it was me. And so I pull up to the stop sign, and someone like a guy pulls up beside me. And um I had my windows down at this point because I wanted to air out my car. He like tells me to roll up my window. Like this guy, he literally like rolls down his window and tells me to roll up my window.
Wow.
And I was like, excuse me? Like I at first I didn't know what he was saying. And I was like, what? And he was like telling me to roll, he was like, roll up your window. And I was like, are you kidding me right now? He's literally telling me to roll up my window in my car. So I mean I ignored him, but I was
Usually
like,
they probably tell you to roll down your window just so they could
yeah.
talk to you.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I was like, but that's one of the things, it's really dangerous because I'm like, what if one day like I roll past a cop and they
Yeah.
like and because that's like they
Where's
can
the
stop
weed
for
in
no
the
probable
car?
cause. Like I could, and I don't know, it's just like nowadays with
I know there's some weed
police,
here.
yeah,
I smell it.
they can plant it into your car, and that's just really dangerous.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, since you just said that, like, do you feel like there's a lot of like type of activity, like police doing weird shit in your area where they like frame people or something like that, or you just
Not in
feel
my area, but I just know that like that stuff happens where like they'll stop, people of color, and then plant something in their car or whatever, and like because they have probably because I smell like it, they have probable cause to stop me, and they would like it's hard for me to justify myself if like okay you smell like it though like
Yeah, yeah. That's so yeah. That's so interesting how it varies. It's so
yeah
interesting.
yeah, but I think
And
a
I
lot
do
of
want to
times
say,
even
like, I do want to read a comment. Like, a woman named Jasmine says that well, let me just read the comment. She says, same minds varies. I hear comments from fish or pee or weed, but I personally smell poo. So yeah, there's people who agree with you in the comment section. I think I got another question from the general. It says, does she have any other gestures than nose holding, rubbing? Do people cough, sneeze, or sniff?
oh yeah, that's one thing I didn't mention. Yes, people like people will sneeze. Like my family, I know they sneeze all the time. My dog sneeze a
Wow.
lot. Um, but yes, people do cough um like sometimes to the point where it's like uncontrollable. Like it's like they got have something stuck in their throat just from being around me, and that's something that was really hard to take because just hearing the sounds and stuff and knowing that it's coming from you is like you know it's that's hard. So I was like in Dunkin', and I was like in Dunkin' Donuts, and like I would hear people like cough, and like when they were waiting for their drinks they would be like sneezing and like doing like oh like just like
Wow.
really dramatic type of stuff, and it was just
Yeah.
like hard for me to hear that all the time.
So you feel like you possibly have PATM?
um I feel like it's a mixture of both because at first like when this first started I feel like it was more um PATM because at when it first started, like back in the restaurant, I did have people like coughing and sneezing around me, but I didn't think I just thought maybe they had a cold, but nobody ever like reacted as far as like the nose type of situation. But yeah, as it's like gone along, like I think it's more of like an odor rather than it is PATM, but a lot of people still do react as far as like coughing and sneezing and stuff.
Well, I'm gonna put a thumbnail for this video, so I want to like identify what you think you will have. So, do you feel like you have just like TMAU? Do you feel like you have PATM? Do you feel like you have just fecal body odor or just body odor in general? Should I just call you a body odor sufferer or
Probably just body odor sufferer because I really don't know what I have, but I
yeah?
know it's something. I don't know. I don't think it's PATM because I have heard odor comments before. So um it's definitely some type of odor issue, but I don't believe I have TMAU like with the one. It's probably just body odor. I don't know.
I got another question by the general. He says, "Oh, and another one. What is the influence of exercise or sports on odor?"
Oh, so I don't really. I used to be like really big into working out before the smell started. And when it's first started, I would work out a lot too, but I don't too much anymore. Just because I don't like I mean I can use every excuse in the world, but like I should be, but I don't, you know.
Right.
Um there's actually a gym in my neighborhood. I was just thinking about this earlier. I'm gonna start going to the gym there probably towards the evening when I know nobody's gonna be there, and just like walk or whatever. But I haven't worked out in a while, but I know that it has helped when I have done it. Saunas really helped have really helped me before. Just like walking and running in general. I like to run, so I'll run like a mile or two, and I notice that when I sweat it out, it definitely isn't as bad, and I feel more confident to go like when I mean obviously taking a shower or whatever, but like once I take a shower, like I feel more confident because I know I kind of sweated out some of that
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, I do. I also have like positive experiences about sweating out the odor.
Hmm.
I feel like it does make you smell less because you sweat it out. I've never been to a sauna. Have I talked to you about a sauna? I feel like I talked to somebody about saunas, but yeah, I never been to a sauna, and I would
Hmm.
really like to go to
I
one. But
love saunas. They feel so good. Like I mean, aside from being like really good for your body, like it really helps you get a lot of like bad toxins out of your body. And I wish I had like a sauna in my house because like I would be in there every single day, and I feel like it wouldn't be as much of an issue. But um, I have like an LA Fitness right down the street from me that I don't go to, and
Yeah.
because I like it's really popular, and I'm
Gyms
just
are
like
the
not,
worst. Gyms are
yeah,
the
I'm just
worst.
not confident enough
Yeah.
just yet to just like, just really walk into the gym and start, running. So maybe one day when I build up my confidence a little about like the odor situation, I'll feel confident enough to go to the sauna every day or whatever. But
I have a
yeah.
question for you. Do you have hyperhidrosis?
Nope, I never have. And honestly, okay, there's another thing that I think was a factor too. I never have had a problem like with sweating ever. Like I would see people in like when I was in middle school and high school, I would see people with like pit stains and I would be like, how did they get that? Like, I mean, I know like sweating is a thing, but I was like, people sweat that much because I never like really would sweat like that. And right before the odor started, I started sweating so bad and it was just like crazy. It wouldn't even be hot. Like I would be serving, right? And I mean, I was before this, I before the Italian restaurant, I worked at Red Lobster and you have to carry the trays and stuff. So
Hmm.
I had never had a problem with it before, like, but all of a sudden I just like I would start sweating, like just like crazy sweating to the point where I would have to like go into the bathroom and like, blot myself down because I was sweating so much. And then
That's
also
interesting.
another weird thing that happened too was I was like itching really bad, like right before the
Mm.
smell started. Like my whole body would be itching, like, and like to the point where I would go into the bathroom at work and like have to scratch like myself because it was uncontrollable. I would have to put like
Somebody
lotion
told me
on.
that. I think Dowdy said that when I had the Saturday night hangout. She said that she had like some type of itching problem.
Yeah, it
Um,
was so strange because I was like, why am I itching like this? And I was like, I thought it had something to do with like, I don't know. I was like, am I having an allergic reaction to something? But it like all of a sudden it just like went away and I don't have like itching problems anymore. But like after the like I stopped having itching problems, that's when like the smell started. So
but you still have a sweating problem?
no, like it stopped. It all stopped as soon as I got the smell.
Because I find it so interesting. I don't think I said this to anybody yet, but I feel like times before I had this odor condition, or actually during I had this odor condition, I'd be sleeping, and when I wake up, I'll be drenched in sweat. It'll be weird.
Yeah, like that's how I mean, I actually do still sweat at night, like all the time. Well, like pretty much every night. I when I wake up, I noticed that I had been sweating like during the sleep. So that still happens, but I had never experienced that before. I never had like a problem with like sweating in my sleep before. It all just started like literally all this stuff started right at the same time. Like everything started at the same time, and it just was crazy. Like it changed my life in 1 second. Like
Mm.
that's when everything started.
Okay, I do have another question from Liz Sunshine, and she says, "Does your odor get worse if you don't get enough sleep?"
Um, I feel like that does have a lot to do with it because I um I have a crazy work schedule, so I work until like 12 at night in my time. So like I work until 12 and then most of the time I don't go to bed until like 1 or 2. So sometimes like I'll stay up and like I think like 2 or 3 times out of the week I'll like pull all-nighters and like go to sleep during the day. It's just like I have a crazy sleeping schedules, but yeah, I do think getting plenty of rest does help out a lot. I know I should be getting more sleep, but I just work is crazy.
Mm, okay. So, okay, I don't think there's any more comments or questions. So I guess we're winding down. Is there any final thoughts you want anybody who's going to look at this to know or hear?
Um, I mean, not really, other than like I just wanted us to like all make sure we stay like keep this in I don't know, how am I trying to say this? Like keep in touch with each other and like make sure we spread the word about this because I noticed that people had stopped talking about it for a while and stopped posting videos about it and like I know that this helps me so much and that's why I wanted to do this. Like I would watch other people's podcasts and like feel more confident because I know that someone else is going through this, and it would make me feel more confident to like go out or do whatever. So yeah, I just want us to make sure that we like keep spreading the word about it and keep talking about it at the bare minimum, like making sure we have like a community of people that we can talk to on a regular basis, so it's not like we're just, you know, um like alone in this, you know.
Yeah.
And if anybody has any like different forums that they're a part of, or Facebook groups or whatever, I would love to join them. So
Yeah, well, I am definitely going to put your email address at the bottom so people can contact you if they want to, talk to you or can network with you. Because you're in Atlanta, Georgia, so I feel like there's going to be somebody who's similar to you.
yeah, and I would love to do a meetup too, because I wanna actually meet someone that has this, because I know that there have been people who have said that like they can't smell each other, but it's just so much more comfortable being able to do like normal things that we normally can't do or can do, but it's just uncomfortable. Like I would love to just like be able to go to a restaurant and like, or go out, go bowling or whatever, just like meet up with somebody and talk about this in person.
Yeah, I've met up one time, and there was a person who said she was a 40-year-old woman. She had bad breath. She said she had bad breath, but I couldn't smell anything. So
Mhm.
that's interesting. But yeah, this was another interview with Brittany. It's me, it's Brittany, and we are out.
Right.